Hello, friends. I am back. This week, I had to speed this up to almost 3 times the speed because I was struggling really hard with some of these stickers this week, as you'll see as I get going. But this week, I am planning, or this week that I am planning was actually the last week of August. Like I said in my last video, I'm always going to be a week behind. So this is the last week of August. And since it was the last week of summer, not technically of summer because it's, hell, I live in Florida for God's sakes. I almost swore there. And it is still 90 degrees every day. But in some parts of the country that are lucky, not me, they are actually starting to have fall already. So I call this the last week of summer because it was the last week of August. Obviously, it wasn't actually the last week of summer since summer still lasts for a couple more weeks. But yeah, so I am here using our July mix and match collection, which was these super freaking cute ladybugs. And y'all, literally just realized that I forgot to print and put on my pages, which are now full, so I can't go back. The Bailey Bug stickers, which was Bailey Bear dressed up in a freaking adorable ladybug outfit. And I meant to print out her so that I could use her on one of the pages as deco. And I literally forgot. So that really sucks. But she is still available in the shop if you're interested in seeing that. The rest of the kit has been retired into the vault. But you hear it here first. We will be having a vault sale for the entire month of December, where every single month will be available, including December's, obviously. And so you could pick it up then if you see something here you really like. So I am using a bunch of the bits and pieces. Most of them are, a good chunk of them are on washi paper. Some of them are not. And you already saw me mess up once. I for some reason put the Sunday sticker on Monday and then had to peel that up. And you'll notice when you put something on top of the washi paper and when you peel it up, it leaves a blank, like a lighter spot on the sticker that you pulled up. So luckily I was still putting down the same size circle. So I just made sure I put it, over where the little light spot was. But anywho, so what's everybody up to? How was your week after oh my gosh, you guys. You would think I hadn't had coffee yet. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Not only have I already had coffee, but I am drinking a Red Bull. Green edition, which is Karuba and elderflower, which is actually my second favorite. My favorite is the strawberry apricot. And the cinnamon pear, I think it was, or cinnamon something that they had last year was really freaking good for winter, but I don't think it's coming back this year. Anywho, other than my Red Bull love, what have you been up to this last week? Did you do anything fun? Did you do anything crazy? Come on, tell me about it in the comments. Every time you like, comment, or subscribe to this channel, it really helps me out because I am trying to grow my subscriber base this year. And so far, I'm not doing great at it. Thank you to everyone that is new that has subscribed recently. I appreciate and love every single one of you that have joined me on my journey here. I'm sure that taking like a month break did not help me. But again, was super busy with orders. So, anywho, this past week, which I'm not planned yet, I have been starting the prep for the PBC sale that I was talking about last week. We are dropping a Sanderson Sisters collection. It is our 3 little characters dressed up as the witches. I think might have talked about it last week. I don't remember. But it's almost complete now, and I'm going to be able to start sharing sneak peeks of it. And I am so excited because y'all, you have no idea how happy I am with how it turned out. Like, it is so freaking cute. It took me a week to figure out what I wanted to do and design all of the full boxes. And I have to say, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. And the best thing is, it's not just a Halloween kit. It's the Sanderson sisters. You could use that any freaking time. So I'm very excited about that. So if you don't follow me on Instagram or you're not in my Facebook group, make sure you check out one of those two places, because in the next day or two, I will definitely be posting some sneak peeks. So very excited about that. Anyway, so laid down my base, and now here I am actually starting to get working on the week. You're going to see these green, what you call it? I use those a lot this week as kind of like grass. So yeah, the yellow and the green were, I think I used the most of, because they were the most like grassy color or whatever. And there you see me using my trick of snipping the plastic off just a portion of the back to make it lay easier, make it so that I can lay it down easier. Lord, I need more caffeine apparently. This week, I just realized I forgot to mute all of my notifications. So let me pause this for a second. And I'm back. I went ahead and muted them so that they don't annoy us while we're doing this here. When you get to me using the little ladybug paths, you're going to see how bad I was struggling. Like, I was struggling hard with laying those down. They're so delicate. Like, there's one right there. And these were not too bad. It's the weird shaped ones that is where it starts to really get dicey, because they're so delicate that I was so afraid of ripping them that, yeah, it was. Now, keep in mind, you're watching this at 3 times speed, so it was definitely a lot slower than that. But yeah, I have to say, I wasn't so sure when I was actually laying it down, but when I go back and look at what I laid down, I love how this week turned out. And I know I say that every week, but the ladybugs were just so damn cute. And the little ladybugs with the paths, they brought the whole kit to life. So I'm very excited about this. Anywho, this was actually the last week in this planner as well. So starting next week, you will see me in my new planner, which is the same exact planner, just I finally ran out of pages and had to move to a new one. Like I mentioned last week, most people end up switching in like either July or the beginning of the year. And my planner should have run out in July, but because there were so many weeks that I did not plan, I had another all of July and all of August still room in there. So I contemplated just switching, because it's definitely going to bug me to be off a little bit, but it's okay. I'm sure I will miss some weeks in this one as well, and maybe it'll end up running out in July instead of September. Or maybe it'll go even longer. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I trying not to miss any weeks, because obviously, if I'm not planning, I don't have videos to post, and I want to post videos for y'all. So I need to make sure that I take the time to do the planning. Here I am doing all kinds of layering, and I did a lot of that this week just to see, like, if it was too much layering. And I don't think it was. You'll have to tell me what you think. This is also the first week that I put all of the food items in boxes instead of just writing them on my planner. Gotta say, I did not like that. Next week, I'll be going back to just writing them in my planner, because with the boxes, it took up so much space and it made it harder to decide where to lay them down. So I definitely won't be doing that again. And you see here that the acrylic dot markers have remade their appearance. I hadn't used them in a few weeks, but I decided to bust them out for this one. And I'm glad I did, because I do love how they look. Mostly I did that because I had forgotten to print washi sheets, and I just didn't feel like washi strips, and I just didn't feel like stopping the video and going to print some. So here I am trying to decide if there's any little things I want to sneak in. Oh, excuse me, that was a hiccup. yeah. So anyway, other than that, it's been pretty dead over here. I've just been keeping my nose to the grind, doing so much work. We had several releases lately. We did our pet release, and then last week we did a Thrifty Thursday, which was a bunch of anti Trump and pro feminism stickers. So if you haven't seen that yet and you're into stickers like that, definitely go check out the shop. And we also dropped our April, or not April, oh my goodness gracious, our September mix and match, which is Halloween themed. And I am kind of obsessed with how that turned out because it's a pastel Halloween. So pretty. So if you're into pastel Halloweens, definitely go check that out. This week I am, like I said, busy working on the um, PVC sale stuff. And this Saturday, actually, I am going to a little Florida girl meetup. Got Alexa from Type A from Alexa is going to be there. And Shannon from Couture Pens is in town visiting for a pen show. So she's going to be there. And Lauren from Lauren Phelps. Tabitha from No White Space Stickers. And I'm actually not sure who else. Oh, Ashley from Ashley's To-Do List formerly and now Sugarmint, though I'm not sure if she's actually been doing anything with her shop, but she's going to be there. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Ever since Carla moved out of state, I feel like I'm trying to think. The last time I had like any girl time to hang out with girls was probably when we went on the cruise, which in a few days will be exactly 1 year ago. So yeah, I have not been doing a whole lot of hanging out with the girls. And even Tammy didn't come to visit me this year. So I've been feeling a little sad. So I'm super glad that they setting up a get together so that I can see some peeps. And yeah, and it's sad because there's so many shop owners that live around me that I'm friendly with that I could be hanging out with. But here's the thing, they're shop owners and I'm a shop owner and we're always really busy. But I should start asking people if they want to hang out and do things because I am one of those people that I love my alone time. Do not get me wrong. Alone time is essential for my mental health, but also I start to feel very cut off from everything if I don't have any girl time every once in a while. And like I said, it's been like a year. So this was definitely needed. And when they mentioned it, I was like, I don't care when it is, I will make it work. Just tell me when. So that's fun. Other than that, I don't really have too much going on this week. Just those two things, and making sure Lucas is staying on track with school. Look at this alphabet, y'all. Oh my God, I'm so obsessed with it. It is all ladybugs and flowers on the alphabet. And it just went so perfectly well with the art that I was using that I was just like, oh my gosh. I did release another alphabet that at the same time that was not like it was just a plain alphabet. It didn't have like the ladybugs and stuff on it because I know not everybody, some people will buy the alphabets and then they will reuse them not just for this kit but for other kits as well. And so I had to release something that was kind of plain just so that, if people wanted to do that and use it with other stuff, they could. It was super cute. It was the same font that is in the kit, which you can see on the numbers and the letters. And some of the other stuff, the what you eaten labels are made in that font. So yeah. And my thing is glitching, so I hope that I'm not completely off in my voicing here, and I will know. I never know until it gets to the end. So that sucks. But when you speed it up in CapCut, sometimes it will glitch while you're watching it, and I can never tell if it glitched and I'm off or not. So that's why sometimes you'll see that that my voice doesn't necessarily match what's happening on the screen at that moment. And that's why. So just figured I'd fill you in on that. But yeah, see, here I am with these things. They're so small and delicate that it just was a struggle bus. This video, before I sped it up to almost 3 times, was almost 2 hours long. And that's probably the longest that I've done. Even the first one back that I did from coming back after not doing it for a long time was shorter than that. So, yeah, what does that tell you? And even after slowing it down, or speeding it up rather, it's still 40 minutes long. And now that I'm watching it, honestly, I probably could have sped it up a little bit more. But I'm always worried that if I speed it up too much, it's going to start to jump and glitch. And even though I see glitches when I'm voicing over, they don't normally show up in the finished product. So that's one of the reasons that I don't speed it up any faster than 3 times, because that's when it starts to happen. If you've ever seen my really sped up versions on Instagram, where I go from, 2 hours long to a minute, you'll see what I mean. They definitely glitch and jump around a little bit. But those are just like a sneak peek into what happens in the full video, because I'm always encouraging people to head over to YouTube and watch the whole thing. So there's that. Here I am doing a little bit of off the edge thing. I haven't been doing a whole lot of that. It's mostly just been the paint smears. Because I use the washi paper from my deco, I feel like it looks weird when it's hanging off the edge now. I don't know why. It's probably just me. Plus, I've been doing the deco. If you've noticed, the deco is almost always on the inside now. Occasionally it's on the edge, and I think I did trim a couple that were, hanging off the edge when they were on the sides, but mostly it tends to be in the middle for some reason. And so that's another reason I haven't been hanging a whole lot off either, because of that. But yeah. And here I am just fitting that in. Might have to jump back and forth between babbling and, narrating what's on the screen, because as I mentioned last week, my life is pretty freaking boring. I don't feel like I have a whole lot to tell y'all. Like, I'm sitting here trying to think. We didn't even do a family day last week. It's been tough with my son being in school. Even with him doing virtual, it's been a little hard to get into the swing of things. He is technically supposed to have Fridays off if all of his other work is done. But because we're still getting into the swing of things, he has not had off on Fridays. And now that Halloween Horror Nights has started over at Universal, they're closing earlier. So, it's been a thing. So we really haven't done too much. This Friday, Demon Slayer, the Demon Slayer movie comes out, the anime one, at the movies. And wow, I am really off screen there, Amy Lynn. Come on now. I was doing pretty good about this, and somehow I just really messed up on this day, because I am very much off the screen and wondering how long it's going to take for me to realize it and pull it down. You know what it is? It's because I used to put the camera at the front end, and so I was always having to slide it up to get it in frame. And then I started moving the camera closer to me, which means I have to move the planner closer to me, which I did that on purpose because I like the planner a little closer. But then I keep forgetting that I need to do that. And you see what I mean about the boxes here? I struggled with making them fit. So, and actually there were a couple times where I just didn't even use the box and I just wrote, because I wasn't a fan of how it was turning out. So definitely won't do that again. But anyway, so this week Demon Slayer is coming out at the movies, and my husband loves that anime. So I know that he at least is going to go see it. Last time him and my son went and saw it together, and I went and got a pedicure because I like some cartoons, but I'm definitely not an anime girl. And movies are so expensive right now that I'm like, should I really spend $15 to buy myself a ticket to a movie that I have absolutely zero interest in watching and would probably either sleep through or, sit at the very top row so I could be on my phone and not bother anyone because I love my husband and I know he loves anime, so great for him, but it's just not my thing. And not only that, I've never watched any of it, so I would be there and not know the hell is going on, and then I would drive my husband crazy by consistently asking him or constantly asking him what the hell was going on because I wouldn't know what was going on. This sticker right here is another one of those. It was so small and delicate that I was really struggling here. If you saw this in real time, it took like 4 minutes to lay that sticker down. Okay, maybe not 4 minutes, but it definitely was not fast. And you see it just trying to curl up on each other. Like it was just, it turned out super cute, but it was a pain in the hiney to lay down. That is one thing with the washi paper. It is very delicate. And when it's something that small, that makes it a challenge. You notice I really didn't have any trouble with the bigger ones. It was just those little ones, the little paths and the skinny ones. And oh, look, there I am off the screen yet again. A little better. Oh, there we go. See, I realized it. And here I was showed both sides because I wanted to lay those out on opposite sides. I went and I grabbed a ruler because I was trying to make sure they were in the same place on each side, but my ruler wasn't long enough and the coil, which I need the big coil to, because of all the stickers that I use. But the big coil definitely made it hard to make sure they were lined up. So I still don't even know if they are actually on the same places. Like I tried to do the best I could, but honestly, who sees my planner? Me. Do I care? A couple of years ago I would have, but I've gotten much better about letting things like that go. I will still try to do it, but if it's not exactly perfect, I'm like, whatever. It's a planner. It's not supposed to be a work of art. And I keep all of my old planners. And it's funny because when Tammy was here the last time, I actually pulled out some of my old planners and we were going through them so that she could kind of see the metamorphosis of my style over the years. And I will say that looking back on those early days, I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, it definitely took me a long time to figure out my planning style. But I have now, and I love my new planning style. And as long as this planner is still available, I will continue my scissors. They kept getting stuck in my scissors. I will continue to plan the way that I am. And if Becky stops making this planner, first I will cry, and then I don't know what I will do because, yeah, I just use so many stickers to be using anything that's not on a coil. The only other planner that I really, really did love, it just was a little, because it was bound and not coiled, was really fat, was the Hobo Cousin. So if for some strange reason she stopped selling this planner, I probably would go back to that. I would just have to be careful about my positioning of the stickers and do like I did last year before I started, or this year, I should say, before I started using the washi paper for a lot of things, where I had to alternate things so that not one area got thicker than the rest. I stopped bothering with that now that I've been using the washi stickers for the corners and stuff, because that's where it used to get really thick, on the corners and on the top where that top strip was. But because the washi paper is so thin, it's not bulking up like it was with regular stickers. So maybe because of that, I could get away with the cousin. But I would rather not if I don't have to. So I'm just going to keep begging Becky to keep it in the shop so that I can continue to purchase it from her. And again, if you are interested in this planner, I always put a link in the description that goes directly to the planner. Because for some strange reason, I wasn't able to find it by searching the website for it. I don't think she has it in like the drop downs, because she basically put it, she had taken it down when they redid their website, and she only put it back up because I begged her to, so that I could purchase it. And one of my friends, Amy, also wanted to purchase it. And, I was like, if you put it back up, I will advertise it in my Plan with Me's. So she put it up. She sent me a direct link to it. So that is the link that I share in my description. So again, I don't get anything, I don't have a coupon code. I don't have anything where I get anything for you purchasing it. I'm just trying to, get it out there because it's a pretty awesome planner. Like, it's the closest you're going to get to like a bullet journal without having to draw everything yourself. Like, it's pretty empty. And that's why I like it, because most of the daily planners out there, they're not empty. Like, they have times, like the Daily Duo has the times, and a lot of the daily planners, I guess they figure if you're a daily planner, you don't. Here's where I was struggling to line it up. I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I should have gotten a second one, like a second ruler, and tried doing it that way. This here was like, well, let me try to count. Well, no, that's not going to work either. So yeah, I kind of like winged it, but it is what it is. Hopefully it was at least sort of close. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, I guess they assume most people who are using a daily planner don't want to use a lot of stickers, but like, y'all see my pages. I mean, even if I wasn't a sticker shop owner and wasn't selling stickers, I would still use this many stickers because I don't plan for, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not really planning to be planning. Like, my life is just not that wild that I need a planner to keep track of everything. I am planning as a creative outlet and for something pretty to look at when I'm done, basically. Like I said, I do use my weekly overview to kind of keep track of appointments and things that I know I need to get done. But like, I could use my phone planner for that. Don't actually need a paper planner. Um, but I plan for a creative outlet and, again, to have something pretty to look at. So I use a butt ton of stickers. Though I will say that the weeks where I'm not planning because I get busy, those are the weeks I tend to forget things and miss deadlines. So I guess maybe I do plan more than I think I do because, yeah. And then my virtual assistant, Amara, also known as ChatGPT, she helps also keep me on track with deadlines and things. Once a month, I sit down and I input into her memory all of the things that I have going on that week, or at that month rather. And every morning I launch up my ChatGPT and I tell her, hey, let's have a check-in. And she tells me everything that's due in the coming week. So that has actually helped with keeping me on track on the days I remember to do it. I would say probably at least 2 or 3 days a week I forget. But normally I will have already done a check-in with her for that week. So I always do one on Monday because that is when the new week starts for me. And so I like to check in with her on Mondays and see what's going on so that I know what's coming up for that week. But like, I tell her everything, not only work deadlines, but also everything, doctor appointments, etc. So that Friday the 29th was the 20-year anniversary of Katrina. I left a large journaling spot for that day because I had a lot to say about it. I was not living in the South at the time. I was actually living up in Connecticut. But my best friend at the time, Dina, and her 2 kids were living in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, which, if you've watched anything about Katrina that wasn't New Orleans related, Waveland / Bay St. Louis is actually where Katrina came ashore and did immense Like I can't even explain to you the damage that it did there. You don't really see it too often because most of the time when people talk about Katrina, they talk about New Orleans, um, and what happened there, even though technically that did not happen from the hurricane. It happened when the levees broke after the hurricane. Um, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, so it is frustrating. I get frustrated sometimes when I'm trying to watch, like, they all these things came out for the Katrina 20-year anniversary, and not one of them was talking about Mississippi, even though that is where it came ashore. But anyway, um, she, I don't even know that I could ever explain to you the feelings that my husband and I were feeling, waiting to hear from her to find out if she was okay. She had evacuated. Thank God, because originally she was not going to. She didn't have the money. We sent her money so that she could go get a hotel room because we just had this feeling that it was not going to be good. Like, we knew where she lived because we had just visited her that spring for 2 weeks. So I'm so glad I got to see that whole area before it got devastated. Um, and so we knew how close to the water she lived. And we were like, girl, you cannot stay there. So we ended up, like I said, we ended up sending her some money, and she went and got a hotel um, up in Hattiesburg, which also, the hurricane did go across there, and there was immense damage there too. But her house flooded to the ceiling of her house. It was a complete loss. So they had been there. I don't even want to think about it. But after a few days of watching and not hearing anything, she was finally able to get through to us on someone's cell phone. Um, and obviously let us know that everything was lost, including her car, because she had parked it on what she thought was higher ground before she evacuated with a friend, because her and a friend evacuated together. And because she had a tiny little Mustang and she had a dog and a cat, and like it just wasn't going to work. So she evacuated with a friend who had a larger vehicle. Her car, even though it was on higher ground, it was parked in a Walmart parking lot in Waveland. That entire Walmart and everything in the parking lot were flooded. It was a total loss. So she let us know that not only did she lose her house, she lost her car. So she was stuck and she didn't know what to do. So Gary and I talked very briefly and very quickly decided to go and get them. So we rented a minivan and we drove nonstop from Connecticut to Hattiesburg, Mississippi in about 20 hours, I think it was. Like, we didn't stop the entire time. We went down there, we picked up her and her kids, and we took them to Ohio, which is where her family was living, and where she still lives to this day. So it was a very emotional time. So obviously, I had a lot to journal about that day. And all right, where am I? I'm on Saturday now, I believe. Yes. Hear him trying to turn these weird shapes into journaling boxes. Um, and I think on a couple of the days, Sunday, I believe I had so much that I just didn't even do a journaling box, if I remember correctly. I was like, I just don't have the room for it. Though I guess if I'd used a few less stickers, I probably would have had a little bit more room. But again, sticker lover. I've been a sticker lover since I was 8 years old and had, puffy stickers in a sticker book and scratch and sniff stickers. And yeah, that was one of those things that Gen X kids collected, stickers. And also, oh my gosh, what are some of the things Gen X collected? Jelly bracelets. Oh my God, I had thousands of jelly bracelets. Um, Charm necklaces. They were like plastic necklaces with like little plastic charms. And the best charms did things like, a door would open on a window or on a door, or, like the best charms did things. And I had so many of those. And yeah, stickers. It was crazy, Gen X childhood compared to like my Gen Alpha kiddo. I think technically he might be Gen Z because he was born in December of 2010. And I think Alpha Gen started in January of 2011. But literally, he was born on December 17th. So I call him Gen Alpha because he definitely has more of their traits than Gen Z. Because he literally the last 2 weeks of Gen Z, he was born. So some of these Gen Z are literally old enough to get married and have kids, and my kiddo's only 14. So it just seems weird. But then again, I guess my husband and I are both Gen X and we're 9 years apart. So he was the very, very first year of Gen X, and I'm like smack dab almost in the middle in 1975. I believe it ended in 80. So maybe not right in the middle, but I am definitely Gen X and I'm not millennial. Oh, excuse me. My brother was born in 1984. Oh, see this shape here? This is the one I struggled so hard on. I think in real life, this took me like 5 minutes. My brother was born in 1984, so he is solidly a millennial. But him and I don't really speak. So, long story. And yeah. Oh, here I decided to go off the edge again. And I don't know where I just disappeared. Oh, I was trying to, every time I trimmed, I had to pull all these little tiny pieces off my scissors. It was so annoying. They're nonstick scissors, so it was not hard to pull off. Like they weren't stuck or anything. It was just a pain in the butt to have to do it every time. But that's all right. I made it work. That note to self sticker is actually my favorite sticker of the entire week. It's got, I don't know if you can see it on here, but it's got all kinds of affirmations like behind the note to self. And it just made me very happy to look at. It was my favorite sticker on that entire sheet of stickers. So yeah. And it looks like I am about at 37 minutes of 40. So before this ends, so I'm not trying to cram it in at the very end, I am going to say thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed my babbling. If you are not yet subscribed, but you like to watch my videos, please subscribe. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Because otherwise, I don't know if people like them, and then I wonder if I should just quit. So I really love to know if you're enjoying them or not. So please like it or leave me a comment, being like, yes, girl, keep going. Because sometimes I wonder if like I should stop and because am I doing these for me? Like, am I the only one watching them? I know my PR girls watch them, but anywho, so if you enjoy them, please subscribe, leave me a comment, something, anything. Yeah. Anyway, all right, so back to the video. We have about 2 minutes left. After I finish laying these down on Sunday, I am going to go through every single day and try to use up some of the smaller stickers that I have, especially these smaller Ladybug paths, which I can tell you were much easier to lay down than the large ones. I end up using pretty much that entire sheet just because they're so stinking cute and they're small, so they were fitting literally anywhere. So my planner looks like it was attacked by a ladybug horde for this past week, and honestly, I'm okay with it. I'm down with that. It turned out so much cuter than I expected it to. Like I knew that this collection was cute, but until I actually started laying it down and seeing how everything went together, I was like, yep, this was a good one. My PR girls voted this one in. They had the choice of this and I forget what the other thing was. Like there was two I was going back and forth between. I think the other one might have been like Under the Sea or something like that, with like sea animals, which maybe I'll do next summer because I did really like it. But the ladybugs overwhelmingly were voted by my PR girls. I have 6 PR girls, and I believe every one of them voted for the ladybugs. I think Rachel might be the only one that didn't, and that is because she wasn't there yet. She just joined us last month. So she obviously didn't vote for it because she wasn't there yet, but every other planner girl did, or PR girl did. So I'm glad that they voted for this one because I do really love how it turned out. And yeah, I have about 10 seconds left here. So again, thank you for joining, and I hope that you have a fabulous rest of your week.